This is my roommate Bill. He's a big Starcraft fan. In fact, right now he's playing Starcraft 2. He promised me earlier that he would help me make a video about the first Starcraft for Video Game Month, but as you can see, he's a little busy. There's only one thing I can do, which will make him do what he promised.
Son of a bitch!
You said you'd make a video! Starcraft came out in 1998 and was a real-time strategy game that I felt pushed Blizzard over the edge into making massive games that ruled the PC universe.
They definitely rounded out their franchises. They haven't really come up with anything new since.
But Titan could be something new.
From what I've read, it might be something like Sims Online.
Oh god.
Yeah, just like a social game.
Blizzard will rule us all!
You gotta remember, this game's a step up from Warcraft 2. I mean, back in Warcraft 2, you could select, 9 units? There was no shift clicking or queuing up actions, and there was no set maximum number of units. You just built farms until the game told you unit cannot be created.
It's like they physically couldn't put another pixel on the map, is that what you're saying?
Well, physically, it couldn't handle another unit object. So you either had to kill some buildings or kill some units. And it didn't balance it per team, so it was like, if you got ahead, they couldn't catch up.
Oh, that's me. I heard that also the units in Warcraft 2 were pretty much the same for either side. Your basic soldier was your basic soldier with a different name and image.
It was pretty much identical,
Did they even have the same HP, or was that different?
I think the archer and the axe thrower were a little different, and when you got to third tier abilities, the trolls had regeneration, the archers got longer range, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's definitely was the first time Blizzard had vastly distinct forces on different sides.
So you're saying the Zealot wasn't the same as the Zergling, which wasn't the same as the Marine?
Obviously. First time I played StarCraft against people, the first one, was also my very first LAN party. I'd actually been invited by a guy who didn't show up. So I'm kind of there what do I do? I'd never played a first-person shooter, and of course they were playing Half-Life Deathmatch. And I got my ass kicked at that. So when we started playing StarCraft, they asked me, okay, how good are you? I'm like, well, I can beat computers pretty well, but I've never played against people. And they decided to stick me on a team that was pretty decent. Their mistake. They were playing big game hunters with basically infinite resources, and they had a 5 or 10 minute no rush rule. I was playing as Protoss, and I'd never played on the map before, so I just sent a probe around and built a few pylons with some photon cannons, just kind of wall in some expansions and whatnot, just see what I would do. And ended up accidentally walling in one of my opponents because I took his choke point with my cannons. So I ended up with his base, his expansion, my expansion, and my base. And I was just mass producing zealots trying to defend against the siege tanks and whatever else they were bringing against me. And meanwhile, my team was whittling down the rest of their team. So it went really well, but the last guy had just walled himself in. He was tearing. He had siege tanks. He had marines and bunkers, and he had already repelled a couple attacks. Well, I had a ton of zealots. And I had decided to build a few reavers, so I blew the reavers and shuttles, had my zealots all charge in mass, and just shuttle dropped the reavers right on top of the siege tanks. Kaboom! There went all of his defenses. And yeah, that was game. And ever since, they've stuck me with losers.
First time I played StarCraft was also at a LAN party, this time for the Boy Scouts. Yes, us rebellious Boy Scouts, doing a LAN party in the basement of a church. So,
everybody else brought their computer systems. I don't think I brought mine, but they were playing this game called Starcraft, which I had heard of, and I think there was some kid on my bus that had played it. I've seen it in the stores all over the place, but I didn't know much about it. So I remember getting Protoss, and I think I was playing a map in which the computer enemy didn't do anything, because I spent the entire game making dragoons and never attacking anyone. And at that point, I think it was 5:30 in the morning, I decided sleep was better than actually learning how to play StarCraft.
My favorite race was definitely Protoss.
My favorite race was Terran.
So as I was saying, Protoss was definitely the best race. I remember back when I talked about LAN parties, how they always stuck me with the worst players. A lot of times it ended up being me against 4 other guys. Not a good situation. I just got Templar all around my base, and whenever they'd come in, I'd Psystorm the hell out of their forces.
I just wasn't very good at all.
Obviously.
StarCraft's greater legacy might be the fact that it was the first real big esports, and that teams of players actually played the game for money.
Especially in South Korea.
Especially in South Korea. There's even tournaments that are televised, and guess what? It's transferred to StarCraft 2 pretty well. In fact, it's taken advantage of the current technology and social media and other aspects of the world to make a lot of people some money. So not only are there StarCraft players, there's people that post videos on YouTube that make what's estimated to be into the 6 figures each year. Yes.
Dang.
Husky StarCraft probably makes 6 figures each year from the advertising revenue off of his YouTube videos.
Dang.
That is crazy. But of course,
And then you've got coaches.
you've
There's
got
professional
coaches. I am watching some of the videos of one of those guys right now. But all that's with StarCraft 2. We'll talk about that later on in the month. For now, if you haven't ever played StarCraft and you like strategy games or science fiction, why are you watching this video? Go play it!